This afternoon, Abu Dhabi came under attack. The capital of the United Arab Emirates. Drones were fired at it. By whom? Iran-backed Houthi rebels. They hit a major oil facility and an international airport. 3 people were killed, 2 Indians and 1 Pakistani. And this is a massive escalation. It could see tensions flare up in the Persian Gulf. I say this because the attacks took place in Abu Dhabi, the capital and the second most populous city of the United Arab Emirates. At around noon, the Houthis dropped several drones on this spot, the Muzaffar International Area in southwest Abu Dhabi. They hit storage facilities of a local oil firm called ADNOC. Another attack unfolded near the Abu Dhabi International Airport, the second largest airport in the country. A construction site near its main terminal was hit by drones. A fire was reported. It has now been extinguished. Now, both of these sites are 21 kilometers apart. They were hit around the same time. Like I said, 3 people were killed, 6 others reportedly injured. Immediately after news of this attack broke, we reached out to the Indian ambassador in the UAE for details. This is what he told us.
Yes, so there has been some explosion at the oil tanks of ADNOC, the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. Okay. And in that incident, 3 persons have died, and of these 2 are Indians. We are just liaising with local authorities to get more details on the identity of the Indians.
Now, this is a serious escalation. The sites attacked were barely 10 kilometers from the American and Saudi embassies in Abu Dhabi and 20 kilometers away from the palace of the UAE's president, Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. To make things worse, the attacks come amid 2 high-level foreign visits. The leaders of South Korea and Kazakhstan are in the UAE. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and former Kazakh President Nursultan Nazarbayev. All of this has put the Emirates on edge. It's a security nightmare. But the UAE has not blamed anyone so far. It says it's waiting for the investigation to conclude.
Any comment at all on the suspected attack on ADNOC?
The investigation is on. Let's wait for the investigation, and the police will issue it.
The UAE may have chosen to remain silent, but in Yemen, the Houthis have already claimed responsibility for the attacks. Shortly after the drones were dropped, Yahya Sari, the military spokesperson of the Houthis, said that they'd launched what they called a military operation deep in the UAE. Now, the Houthis, as you may know, are a Shia rebel movement based in Yemen, a Shia rebel group. They've been fighting Yemen's Sunni majority government since 2004. This is a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran now. Saudi Arabia supports the government of Yemen. Iran backs the rebel Houthis. What do the Houthis want? To end Saudi influence in their country and to establish a Shia government. Arab nations see this as a threat to regional security and stability. So they've been fighting the Houthis under a coalition since 2015. Iran, which is a sole Shia powerhouse in the region, funds the Houthis and helps them carry out attacks in Saudi Arabia and the UAE, or so they say. Today's attack is one such. In July 2018, the Houthis targeted the Abu Dhabi airport in a similar fashion. They dropped 3 drones on the airport, bringing operations to a brief halt. The UAE refused to acknowledge that attack. A year before that, in 2017, they did something similar. The Houthis fired missiles at the Baraka nuclear plant in Abu Dhabi. The UAE refused to acknowledge the attack. And just 2 weeks back, on the 3rd of January, the Houthis seized an Emirati ship in the Red Sea. Again, the UAE pretended like none of this had happened. It's hard to say if the UAE is in denial or if it is a way to deny the Houthis the publicity that they clearly seek. It doesn't help that these developments coincide with the Dubai Expo, a multi-billion-dollar effort to attract investments. The UAE would want to paint a picture of normalcy. The Houthis would like to blot it with drones. They're threatening more attacks, saying the UAE will not be able to withstand what comes next.
We had previously warned the UAE that if it did not stop its support for Tariq Afash's militias who are mobilizing in Marib, Al-Baida and Shabwa, we will take action. It seems that the UAE did not understand this warning. So we send them a clear message by hitting places that are not of great strategic importance. This was a warning that if the UAE continues its hostility towards Yemen, it will not be able to withstand any future strikes.
Wion is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.